Hello, welcome. What we're looking at here is now that we've created templates and seen how coding works, we want to actually go through and create an email. And we're going to try it in two steps. Step one will be to work on our portal. Then step two, we'll go back and take a look at the actual production system. So with that, we go over to our portal, and on our portal we're going to pick testing email. Now when you get to this point, you get your hello screen. The nice thing here, and on the others as well, is you'll be able to see some performance statistics. You'll see the eligibility, when people subscribe and unsubscribe. You'll be able to create folders to keep your assets as you wish. So let's move forward. This will be our performance dashboard. So we can scan based on various types of emails that we create. So we may want to create A/B testing. Maybe we want to do follow-ups. We can scan based on the various campaigns, and a campaign is where we keep various assets together so we can report on how well we're doing on a specific task. We can look at it from a monthly point of view. We can scan based on open rate, click rate, or all rates. Right now, as you can see, there's nothing there to look at. So let's begin. From our email, what we want to do is to, in the upper right hand corner, is to create our email. So we will click Create New Mail. From there, we have the various templates that we've created that we can choose to work with. Or on the bottom, you can gain additional templates or browse to the marketplace. The marketplace, there are templates for fee and for free. So that gives you the opportunity to look around. I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to see what other people are doing for templates to give you ideas. For the short time, however, though, we're going to just select an existing template, and we're going to call it ISM 59. Let's call it ISM development, and let's make it web development, and we'll create. This name here will be the name that the system recognizes. So now that we have created that, we have, as we have in our others, our landing page and our site at the top, the buttons, the tabs, content, options, and sending. If you'd like, there's a tutorial you could click on, or gain help through the knowledge base by clicking on one of those. Let me scan this over a little bit. So you have the left-hand side where you're working, and the right-hand side provides you an overview of what it will look like. Inside, just as the others, you can click to go edit, and it'll take you directly to that point for editing. Let's start at the top though. What is the basic information? The name that we're going to call it so that we can select it. For email, who's it going to come from? For the email address, if we had a campaign, if we had multiple footers. Now, we argued that for the time being, we're going to create and only use the canned spam footer. And you can see that sits and allows us to make sure that we have everything there. As you move along, you may or may not want to have different formats, but you still have to have all of that same information loaded. So now for the content. What is this email about? And let's just say class reports. Well, is that going to get somebody to open up the email? Well, maybe what you want to do is take advantage of this personalization and personalize it. John, here are the class reports. So you have the opportunity to personalize, and remember how that works. You have the brace, which is saying it's going to get a value, and the value it's going to go get is a first name from the contacts database. Scroll down a little bit. We can continue our personalization by making content smart. So if you had certain, maybe you wanted to send this to prospective students versus current students versus students who have already taken the course, you could create and make that smart. Notice that this smart content is different than the other dialog boxes that we've seen. So here we can do the life cycle stage. Are they a visitor? Are they a student? Are they alumni? Or we can make the contact based on the list that you place them in. That gives you a tremendous amount of control. We haven't got into contact lists, but we'll work on it a little bit. The idea for contact lists is segmenting your list of contacts based on some properties or some actions. So consider maybe you want to segment them on, did they respond to an email that you already sent? Maybe you want to have them if they passed a test. And this contact list, if it was a smart contact list, you could set it up with a workflow so that it kicked off dynamically. So you wouldn't have to be involved. We're not going to touch it right now. Now inside of our email, you can see that you can create whatever you wish in the main email body. And notice that you can have various personalized content as well. So you can do the personalization, or maybe you have call to action buttons that you want to insert. So inside of the email, maybe you want to write a letter to them and say, learn more about this class, and you'd want to insert the call to action button in there. I'm not going to. I'm going to take that out. But hopefully you're getting the idea is that inside of your email, you can insert that. I can put links and images. And you say, well, wait a minute, what is missing? Well, one of the things that is missing is video. Because you can't have video. That's too much in terms of volume that you'll be sending. The trick around that will be, and you'll see in the video component, is we'll place an image of the video, and when they click on that image that looks identical to the video, it will kick off a link that will then fire off the video. So you're not bringing the video along, but rather you're bringing a picture, and when the recipient clicks on that, they will fire out and get that video. Notice also you could personalize based on company. And let's take a look at that. There's various information that you can store by company. And just like we could with our personalization, we can customize things. So don't think just company. For our purposes, think maybe it's a student and maybe I want to customize by major. So the personalization could be that way. Or maybe I have personalization major for the individual and or the company. So you can start to create a tremendous amount of additional things. Notice also there's a document link. So I could link to perhaps my server where I have a PDF file. Being slightly different than inserting a link. So I'm inserting the document link, inserting a link. Can you do it both ways? Yeah. It's just a different way to present it. So we have our main body. Let's continue down. Some email clients will let you see a preview. Quality reports on pass, on exam pass rates. So this would be along with your subject heading. This gives you the teaser of what this email will be about. If you don't put anything there, the computer is going to try to put something there. At least here now you can control what they get to see. We have our logo. And where do you want them to go if they click on that image? Same idea with the video. There's the picture, there's the link. And do you want that to open up in a new window? And I always do, because I don't want them to leave my email. I want them to have the option to see two things: the link plus my email. Let's continue on. The column above the body, we can put in information. Social sharing, labels if we wish, so that they can share our email perhaps on Facebook, perhaps on Twitter, perhaps on LinkedIn, or perhaps email to themselves. Let's continue on as we continue to look. The next tab over is our options tag. And one of the things we said is that we can create a web page so that you have more control over how your email look. Maybe some email providers won't let them see all the things you want, and they want to hit it from a web point of view. You can do that. You can load meta descriptions so that your email could be searchable. This is about web development reports. So if you did an organic search, you're starting to put in some of the description that would come up. Page status, you can have it go to a landing page or an external page or stay published for as long as you wished. Let's scan over and look at sending. Here's your choices for sending. You can develop a schedule and have your emails go out maybe at 8 o'clock in the morning, or maybe on Mondays, or whatever you want. So that could be something like Sunday night. I could send out an email and remind everybody, don't forget to watch more of the class. It's coming due. Or so anyways, we could pre-set up all of these emails for the entire semester. Continuing scanning down on that, what we could also have is who gets this. So we can add recipients. And those recipients could be unique individuals. So I could be loading myself in there. Or I could have a list. And those lists could be various groups, maybe people that have downloaded your ebook, maybe students in a class, maybe a visitor to your website. So you can build these lists and then attach and send the email to them. I'll cancel that out right now. Well, I'll just add myself just so that you can see that. And then now the email is going to be sent to listen individuals and then specifically just to me. I could also choose, my boss is on the list because it's the school website. Well, I don't want my boss copied on everything, so I could exclude her from that list. Notice also then to the right, we can create A/B testing to see what type of email works best. Those with an image on the right or the left. And we can control that, as we always have, by creating that variation. Now I will let the computer work through and try to determine what and when to send. See if I can move that just a hair so I can see if I can't get that down a little bit. It's a little hard to read here on the bottom, so I'm going to see if I can't get it to pop up. What we have, and it doesn't want to show. Well, let's see. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. But I can preview it. I can say these are the devices I want to see how my email will look in. So on the right hand side I can select, tablets, I can select computer desktops, I can select mobile to see how the email will appear. I can select view the preview as, and then select the contact name. So if I'm building personalization, notice it says Hi John, so that I can view it that way. And then on the far right then is suggestions. So on the suggestions there are, hey, guess what? Green, yellow, red lines saying, great job, warning, you screwed up. And they go through and set up a variety of ideas to help you get good email. So these are the suggestions, all the suggestions, the optimized suggestions, so that you can, and let's see if I can get us back in, so that you can have quality emails. The next thing we wanted to look at is at the bottom is there's various actions. Those actions, I can view my email. And that's what it would look like. Or I can send myself a test email. So send it to me as though it were me. I can send it in plain text or let it go as formatted. So I will send it out. So it will send that test email out so I can see how it looks in my email client. So that's what the email tool that we're going to be working on, or you're going to create your email, will look like. I'm going to close that and then go to our real portal. So I wanted you to see some of the statistics. I think that's meaningful to see what you're trying to get done. So you can monitor, for example, you can see who opened it. That would be green. You can see if I had clicks in there, what percentage of individuals clicked it. You can see delivery rate. Now the importance on delivery rate is, are you sending to bad email addresses? So you want to watch out. You ideally want that always to be 100%. The problem I've run into is sometimes I'll get bad email addresses. I'll mistype it. I'll transpose digits. A lot of problems, but that occurs. Here's your problem, though. You're sending out all these emails, and only 54% of them are getting opened. So something's wrong with your email. The way you write it, the way you put in the preview, the way you did the subject line, there's something you're not doing right. To get only a 50% open rate is not good, especially in an academic environment where you have an audience that's expecting. Now, in an organization, maybe 30% is great if you're marketing, but for our situation right now in an academic environment, that's terrible. That's just terrible. And then what's worse is the click rate. So you're sending information to people to do things, and they're not even clicking your links. So while you can see 74% open rate, not real good. Click rate, 2%, not very good either. So we can then continue on, and we can look at the drafts of the email as well. I can scan into, for example, the challenge. And from the challenge, I can, and I probably shouldn't be doing this, so I will back out. I can see who's opened it. I can see which email addresses have been clicked. I can look at my performance statistics and find out about various elements. Now I should be able to take a look here. Details. That'll be. And then just like the landing page, just like the site pages, you have a variety of information. You have the ability to look at that information, see how it previews, which is new because obviously this is email. But I can say, test my email. I want to see how does it look like if I send it to an iPhone 5. I could say, well, what about the client? I don't send anybody in these, so I want them to check in this one. Or web email. I don't use that. I use Gmail and Chrome. Accessibility, if they're color blindness. I don't care about Android. So I can go through and I can now test the email. So you're having the opportunity, because so many email clients with so few standards, at least test your email to see how it works. And that's what we're trying to do here, is we're going to go through and test using various mobile clients, various desktop on the Apple, various desktop on Windows, various webmail clients, and using the accessibility functions. As you might guess, it takes a while to generate and to go through all that code, and you'll, I guess, have to do it at your own speed because it does take a while. So what we've tried to accomplish then with the email is, after you've done the template, that's only half the job. The rest of the job is making sure that your email works for your audience. So you should know what your audience is using. You should know and work on that. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.